money funding.
At least that's been the case for me and a lot of people who...
Hi guys, welcome back to Between Bells. Knotel provides a network of custom locations for modern businesses, including ours. And today they're announcing that they've raised $25 million in Series funding, which is huge, Series A funding. Here to tell us more, the co-founders, Amal and Edward. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, pleasure.
So congratulations on the big money funding.
This
I can hold this for you.
This is our deal totem.
Oh,
I
can make this into a necklace, I think.
Does it light up when it's plugged in?
It does light up when it's around his neck.
Yes, exactly. When I take it out on Friday nights, it definitely lights up.
Obviously, it does. $25 million, Series A funding. This is huge. Obviously, Cheddar, we use a Knotel workspace. What are you guys planning on doing with this new round of funding?
We're going to make Knotel a lot bigger. So we run a bunch of headquarters all around town for companies like yours that started as, I think you were 4 when you showed up at Knotel, and now you're pushing like 50 or 60 or 80.
We have a couple more.
Yeah,
a couple more people
growing super fast. So we run a network of headquarters all around the city, and we do it as a service. So you start. You get as big as you need to, you flat, you back, you're trying a project, you move different directions. It is very difficult to predict what you're going to do tomorrow, much less next year, much less 10 years into the future, which is the old school lease. Companies do not like leases. Even building owners do not like leases. They're a pain. Everyone ends up getting too much space and everything goes wrong and you have a ton of headaches. We handle all that.
So what gave you guys the idea to start doing this company? Was it because you have previous experience of dealing with people that didn't want to have a big lease and you wanted something that was more modern, more customizable, something that like people were like, okay, cool, we'll put our business in here and it's great and easy going. What made you guys decide to do
well,
that?
I mean, Edward and I have been building businesses for 15 years. We started a bunch of companies. I started Virgin Mobile, I started Peak, which was a smartphone company, and when Peak got sold at the end of 2012, I had this beautiful office and a plan to do more stuff. And Edward and I started working together, incubating some companies, working on some technology. A bunch of our friends started working next to us.
It was an accident.
And in the middle of
Sometimes
2012...
the best things happen over accidents, so...
Yeah, a lucky accident. In 2015, Edward asked me, why are we running this office for so many companies? Why does it keep growing on its own without you doing anything? And I thought he was telling me to stop it. But instead
we looked around and thought that it's a huge opportunity. Real estate is an antiquated industry. And we look at how technology changed transportation over the last 5 years. And you can see and project how technology will change real estate. And we're hoping that we will pioneer that.
Now, you guys say that Knotel is basically headquarters as a service, and really the difference between most co-working companies like a WeWork or the Yard is that they basically, you would sign a lease though with these companies, these individual companies with the WeWork space. They make a profit off the spread between the rent and the membership fee to be a part of that. What sets Knotel apart? I know I've read in a couple of articles, interviews you guys have done. You say you don't have any competition. There's nobody in the space doing what you do.
I think that it's important to understand what we're doing and what drives us. And that's the idea of flexibility. Knotel stands for flexibility for us and for our companies and for landlords that we partner with. And flexibility works along several vectors. You have flexibility in terms of the amount of time you want to stay in the space, the amount of space that you need, but also flexibility in terms of company culture. And we provide companies a canvas that they can use in any way they want.
It's like the difference between a website on Squarespace or a website on Amazon Web Services. Like if you have a cool jewelry shop, you can put it up on Squarespace and have an internet site.
Right.
But Netflix runs on AWS. And the kind of companies that are at Knotel use us as infrastructure to build a scaling platform that's adaptable to what they're about. So it's your headquarters. It's not a bunch of like blinking neon and like a St. Patrick's Day party that's rolling through your engineering meeting. It's your spot. And we just take care of the whole back-end infrastructure to make it beautiful, simple, easy for you.
Do you guys work out of a Knotel space?
Yeah, we do. We
work
out of a lot.
out of a Knotel space?
We eat our own dog food.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have been the story we were looking for. The Knotel guys working at Starbucks.
Right. We were like, wow.
But obviously the big news, $25 million in Series A funding is huge. You guys have 10 locations here in New York. You're expanding this year. Are you guys going to be taking that $25 million and hope to expand to other cities?
We're going to make the business a lot bigger. I mean, a year and a little bit ago, we were just one spot, a couple floors in a building. We thought it was an interesting idea. And so we thought, well, would it be easy to make bigger? Let's try to make it bigger. And now that it's a bit bigger, I mean, I think it's legitimate to sort of look at the map and see 10 locations and see thousands of people traveling through Knotels every day and be like, okay, this is an interesting and powerful idea. It's not important until it's another 10 times, another 100 times bigger. And it actually has that potential because co-working, as cool as it has been, it's just a few basis points of the market. It's like way less than 1%. Nobody is really in co-working. It's just like our friends in startup land. 99% of the market is leases. And I told you already that leases suck. That's the headroom. It's everything else.
But how do you guys make your money then if you've changed from a lease pattern, from a lease model? That's obviously where a lot of people from even gym memberships, make money off of the annual stuff that or the monthly stuff that people get. So how do you guys make money if it's a short-term thing that's not involved in a lease?
Most people come to Knotel to stay forever. It's not short-term. What they want is scalability and adaptability. So scalability means they grow. Yeah, so if they could change. And it takes technology to be able to benefit from that change, to provide flexibility. So we're running a business that's very technologically driven to make that flexibility return a higher yield for us. So instead of making you buy too much and having that be the business model, we give you exactly what you want when you want it, and for a huge assortment of other customers, all these buildings, all these customers, all these companies that are growing and moving over time. So we are doing a really complex optimization problem that your individual building owner never could have done 100 years ago or even 10 years ago. That's what makes our business work so well.
Right now, do you guys have about 200,000 square feet of workspace? I read you guys want to expand to 1 million square feet by the end of the year. To Baker's point, is that all here in the greater New York City area?
Most of it will be in New York, but we're planning other cities that have similar real estate setups.
Yeah.
What goes into looking for the next Knotel space?
New York's a super city, and so the next Knotel city will also be a super city. And every Knotel is in a place where a CEO wants to put their company. So he or she wants to put their people somewhere, wants to be somewhere, and those are the Knotels. So you look at the map of New York and the places you want to be, that's where Knotels are.
Well, that's definitely where our Cheddar offices are,
Yes,
which I won't shout the
exactly.
address so we don't have people randomly showing up there, because that's not what
But
we
I'll
want.
gladly take all the stalkers that want to come over. We have a wonderful location right by the Statue of Liberty. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And all the lovely ladies that work there.
Yeah, we want to shout out our own Hannah from Knotel.
Yes.
I love her.
Yes.
I actually emailed her yesterday.
Yes, we love Hannah. She's amazing.
Yes.
And you guys only have 25 employees, which is a very small head count. So does that
Scalable
mean-
for their
So for 25 million in Series A funding, does that mean $1 million for each employee?
Right. I wish it was a bonus and not an
Right,
investment.
just a bonus for everyone.
Paul and Edward, thank you guys so much for joining
Thanks for having
us.
us.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, guys, up between bells, the latest updates to the president's immigration policy. What does it mean for your community? But first, we learned how protecting America's national parks can have a positive